Hello, how are you? This is Ola Ibiwoye of Commercial Property Club Podcast. I'm so glad to be with you today. Once again, you are welcome to another episode of Commercial Property Club Podcast. We always say this that at CPC we serve investors with commercial real estate knowledge. Yes, it's a platform in which we bring information to the table. It's a platform in which it's a thought leadership concerning commercial real estate. You will agree with me that commercial real estate is a vast, large space in which there are so many things going on. There are several class assets that you find in commercial real estate, in which we obviously would want to give nuggets, we want to give knowledge, we want to give blueprints, how things have been done in that space, just to serve investors that are out there investing in so many aspects out there, improving their portfolio, or what have you. Yes, once again, it's so good to be with you today. I can't wait to dive into what I want to talk about today. I'm talking about types of property today, and I will be starting with the class asset multifamily. Sometimes it's been referred to as apartments. Isn't it wonderful that, when you drive around your neighborhood, your metropolis, your suburbs, your city, you see apartments all around, and you wonder to yourself that how is that apartment being run? What is it comprised of? Some of us at some point in time in our life, or even presently right now, we stay in apartments, and we just wonder or want to know how apartments are being run, or how apartments are being viewed as much. Some of us don't even notice. We just go in there and be residents for years, or rather we see our kids out there living in one of these apartments, and we wonder that what's apartment all over. Apartments are one of class assets out there that is really a very good class asset when it comes to the investing space in commercial real estate. Let's talk about apartment, because they come in various models and various class, I would say, and anything from your 4-unit upward is normally referred to as multifamily in the residential space. So which means in your single family homes or single resident space, from one, your duplexes, your triplexes, those are normally your residential real estate, while from 4 units upward are referred to as your commercial real estate, and that's your multifamily aspect of things. When it comes to commercial real estate, there are several kinds of apartments out there that you may not have noticed, but I'm going to dive into each. Sometimes you see out there what we call or refer to as your garden apartment. They are built in a garden format complex, usually large numbers of units spread out in large areas of land. And usually you find maybe in 2-3 story buildings. Sometimes they come in low rise. When I say low, like just 1 story, that's what I meant by that. And those are your garden apartment. Most times you find in majority class portfolio that people hold out there, mostly gardens type of apartments. And you have some other aspect of class which we call the high-rise apartment. Usually those ones you see mostly in your downtown, where you have like close to about 10 to 20, 30, 60 unit upward high-rise. And those are your high-rise apartments. And tenants will normally pay premium for units like that. When you go into units like, usually most of them are luxurious and they're built. So having defined some classes of apartment, I also want to draw attention to No, actually, the type I just defined the types of apartment right now. They are sometimes classified into Class A, Class B, Class C, Class D, according to the year of build and let's just say how it's been used over the years. Your new construction apartments out there are usually your Class A, newly built, just fresh out of the construction space into the market, and those are your new apartments. Those are your Class A apartments, and well, probably for the next few years they will still be referred to as your Class A because they're still brand new. The optional upgrades are still there. The appliances are still pretty good there. There's really nothing there that will warrant new things being installed, rather being changed. Everything in there is still brand new, so they could still run for the next 4, 5, 6 years without not changing nothing. Your next class will be your Class B, and those are the one immediately after your Class A. Those are the class in which your Class A move into. Those will be maybe from 10 years to 15 years upward that they've been built. Usually they're still looking pretty good out there. Your Class C, the one next to B. The ones in B will move to Class C at some point in time. In your Class C, usually they've been around for about 20, 25, 30, 40 years. And those ones usually would need some changes within some upgrades, some remodelings will come in. Usually they fall into the class what we call the value add, in the sense that there's always something to make it look better, in the sense that, right now those kind of models may not really be in the market again as newly constructed, because over the years new innovations, new way of building apartments have set in. So then your Class D are usually your distressed kind of apartments. Those are the type that are really, really very, very distressed. Anything short of maybe demolishing it or reconstructing a new thing. And sometimes it might just need rigorous upgrades, rigorous remodeling to bring them up to date, or rather bring them to the C class aspect of things. And usually those kind of distressed assets are usually, they have room for great value heard, probably a lot of also, I would say, the profit to add on, if you know what you're doing, if you can know what you're doing. So what are really some strengths about apartments? Sometimes you want to compare apartments with your single family aspect of thing when it comes to residential. I'll be saying that it's a class asset that is really versatile and very good. Some of the things you might want to know about apartments might range from what's the management intensity like. Usually it could be heavy and it could be mild depending on what class you're buying into. When you're buying into something like a C class, just like I rightly defined, usually you might need some heavy management when it comes to that also too. But when you buy into something like your B or your A, you might not really need a lot of management intensity. Then it depends on the demography that you find yourself. What kind of model of management are you going to engage in? Are you going to engage in in-house management, or you're going to bring in professionals that are specifically doing the management by themselves? So as an investor, you must be able to understand, or rather ask yourself that kind of question, that do you want to manage, or you're going to bring in an external body or third party to manage for you? And what other management intensity would I want to talk about today also? I think those are pretty much the things that you might take note, other than the city regulations, making sure that your residents are adhere, rather keep your property in good conditions and making sure that the property is run effectively and the property is also being taken care of in terms of on the part of the residents also too. And some of the ways that you could also make sure that things are being run effectively by your or in-house or your third parties to manage. When it comes to third party managers, you want to manage them also too. While they're managing your property, you also want to manage them also too as an investor if you're engaging a third party. Various kind of lending facility that I want to talk about when it comes to them. You can use your conventional loans, your agency loan, your Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. Those are good lending facility that you can use also to. What else do I want to talk about when it comes to apartments? Other than the fact that they are a very thriving asset class, they prove to be very resilient when it comes to the cycle of a downturn or recession time, because if you have 20 units of apartment compared to having like 5 houses, residential houses out there, let's compare that 20 units versus 5 residential houses out there. With 20 units, if your tenancy drops say like 5 or 10%, probably you lose about four. You still have 16 other tenants that are paying towards their rent. So you're still cash flowing. But if 4 move out of a 5 house that you own, that's 1 house left. So you're down from 5 cash flow to 1 cash flow. That can prove to be difficult. So when you're comparing multifamily with your residential, it's just night and day in terms of cash flow, in terms of leverage when it comes to your cash flow coming in. You have more leverage with multifamily, your apartment asset class, compared to your residential asset class out there, your normal single family home. So in summary, I would just want to say apartments, as you can see from all I've been talking about, is a class asset that is a very, very good class asset when it comes to commercial real estate. I hope I've been able to share a few information with us today that is helpful for us when we go out there and we're looking to buy, we're looking to see which is suitable in places that we find ourselves. This should help us to some certain extent. All right, under types of property, we talked a little bit about apartments, which is your multifamily class assets. It's been wonderful talking about this topic today. Like I said, at Commercial Property Club at CPC, we serve investors with knowledge of commercial real estate. And we can't wait to hook up with you again in another episode. You have a wonderful, great day. Goodbye, and I will talk to you again. This is Ola Ibiwoye.